Good afternoon and welcome to our webinar, CTW Maximizing Your Engagement and ROI. This webinar is specifically meant for our esteemed exhibitors who are participating in CTW. We're excited that we have the show back. As you know, it was combined together with the NAMA show, and we've had enough demand for this industry segment to say, have it back on its own. So we look forward to seeing you folks this in Vegas in just about a month, which is great. So that's a webinar. It should take about 40 minutes max, and a couple housekeeping things. This is being recorded, so in 24 hours it will be available on the CTW website under Exhibitor Resources. We do ask if you have any questions in your little box up there. You're going to see chat. Please type any questions in chat, and our lovely Nicole will be monitoring those so that we can answer those questions during this webinar. If we didn't get to them, we'll get to you afterwards. And last but not least, these will be available, should be 24 hours typically when we get the recording. So we'll post this deck as well as a recording by Friday afternoon, tomorrow. And again, this way it's easy for you to kind of get through and tag through to get to your slides that you want to see, or pass it on to a colleague for more information. You also have some details on who to contact regarding any questions you have. So let's get started. Quick agenda. We're going to talk about two new experiences at CTW this year, one called the H2O Zone, one Imagination Way. Then we're going to talk about free marketing tools. What we've clearly heard from exhibitors is they want to make sure they can do everything possible to drive booth traffic and also different types of engagement around the event, not just in the booths. We do have a couple high-value sponsorships that are very low rates. We wanted to make sure that we did everything in our power again to drive booth traffic, make sure people know that you're there and come and see your products and see you at the show. We have what we would call the popular FAQs, or answers to the questions that you would have, and we're going to give you a link to the resource center to find anything else you're needing. To talk about the Map Your Show platform, that's our online platform that attendees are using as we speak to plan their show participation, make sure they maximize their time at the show. Then we have Keith Cotton on from GES, and he'll talk about exhibitor services, important deadlines, and important deadlines always mean to me saving money, and I guarantee you'll see that that's the case. Want to make sure you take full advantage of that. There's another thing. We want to make sure that the people coming through that show, when you have limited time, that you capture their information that we've captured during registration. So you hear a little bit about lead retrieval from CDS. And last but not least, questions and answers. Part of questions and answers is a whole list of folks that you can contact regarding anything you have a question on. So let's hit it. H2O Zone. The H2O Zone is a new experience at CTW, and it's about, you can guess it, it's about water. One of the things that, if you think about CTW, the foundation of coffee and tea is water. And so one of the things that we heard from people is, yeah, there's so many types of water out there and so on, and why use one over the other, and what's the advantages, and what does that mean to me as an operator or an exhibitor? So we have a really cool new experience. There will be a tasting bar as part of the H2O Zone, so people can actually taste different types of water, understand the attributes, and what might even work better with different types of coffee, tea, other solubles and things like that, which would be pretty fun. And we also have a kind of a small, intimate stage with some unique water-focused takeaways presentations. Our goal was is to make sure that anyone who participates in these short 20-minute sessions has takeaways that they can implement in their business right away. So make sure, if you're not familiar with it, that you do take advantage and maybe check out the H2O Zone. One of the things that happened, folks, as you know, in Chicago early this year, the NAMA show had a brand new, incredible experience called Imagination Way. And Imagination Way is really kind of taking the NAMA show and now CTW to a different level. Let me tell you how. What ends up happening is we have developed for CTW 3 completely built out experiences that is especially interested to folks in the OCS space, or people who are selling coffee, tea, water in the works. And as we know, they're mainly hybrid operators today, like the people that you sell to. So what you'll see here are totally built out, really cool environments, one for what we call white collar, and the other one is manufacturing, and the other one's more public facing. So if you were did OCS in a hospital or a campus and things like that, large office building. We have taken and we have gone and curated super, super cool products, layouts, kiosks, the whole works, and put them together. And as we did in the NAMA show, people can come through and see these and then book to the show floor to talk to those exhibitors to see how they can incorporate that in their locations or their next locations. So really super cool. It is being set up on Sunday, unlike the show. So this is not the show. And it will be available and open on Monday and Tuesday in that registration area. So really, really cool stuff. And I hope you enjoy it. It, again, is a very scaled down version because, again, we have a smaller show, smaller building, and the segment that we're working on here. So, but if you have a chance, make sure you'll check it out. If you're near registration, you really have no choice, you will. So I'd like to turn this over to Michelle Weston Rowe, who is our guru in terms of marketing for CTW, to take the next couple slides. Michelle?
Sure. Thanks, Chris. Hi, everybody. We wanted to make sure that you have some tools to promote your participation in the event and to help spread the word to your prospects and customers to join you at CTW. So there is a free exhibitor marketing toolkit that's accessible from the CTW website under the Exhibit and Sponsor tab. There's actually a handful of resources there for you. You'll see this in the drop-down menu. Here you will find a link to your free online and mobile app show listing that people use to search for different exhibitors and solutions. So make sure that you enter that so that you're accessible in the mobile app. Also, there are banner ads, there's email signatures and graphics that you can download and apply those to your website or any promotions or emails that you're sending out to let people know your booth number and when to come see you. There's social media information with some pre-populated tweets and posts that you can easily cut and paste from there. And this is also the page where we will include the link to this webinar. There's some other more high-level marketing opportunities on our sponsorship offerings. There's low-cost, high-value things still available and some other unique opportunities. You can visit all of the choices at coffeeteaandwater.org/sponsor-2022. You'll also find that on the Exhibit and Sponsor tab on the website. Some options here, banner ads, splash page ads on the mobile app, push notifications are still available, bag inserts, and one of the ones that we think is pretty cool is a voicemail message in the hotel rooms. But Katie and Anthony, your sales team, are able to give you all kinds of details and information about these. On the website also, under the same tab, Exhibit and Sponsor, you will find the Exhibitor Resource Center. This is kind of the main hub. If there's not any other page you look at, I would recommend this one. There are links galore here that can connect you to all of the important places that you need to be. Your exhibitor portal, the directory listing, a link to the floor plan, your GES service manual, the housing link to reserve your rooms, how to register your exhibitor staff, and then convenient sorts of logistics around the schedule, important dates and checklist, and also all of those marketing tools. There's a link there that would direct you right to that page. So this is really an important place and a place that can answer a lot of your questions. Also, there's contact information on this page for how to get in touch with somebody else if you have questions that aren't addressed there.
Michelle, and one thing I really want to stress is later on in the webinar, you're going to hear about people building their agendas. What's so important about the Resource Center, everything's in one place now, right? That's what you folks told us you wanted. But that exhibitor directory listing, I'm going to give you some tips on it, some best practices, because it is changing the way people are attending shows and the booths that they visit. So Michelle, thank you for that.
There's an FAQ page on the website as well. You'll see that under the help menu on the website. These are some of the questions that we're hearing the most frequently, so we thought we would share them here with you. The Wi-Fi is available, but it's for personal use only. It's not really intended to be streaming things or running presentations in the booth. A big point here for Las Vegas is that the exhibit hall is carpeted in this multicolored pattern carpet that you can see right here. So your space is carpeted, but if you want other flooring or other carpet on top of it, you're able to order that. And then this is just a reminder of what's included in your exhibit package.
Good, good. Michelle, thank you very much. And again, keep in mind, you folks can look at any of these with the deck that we posted, as well as the recording of this webinar. Michelle?
Okay, so Chris, this is something that's been mentioned a couple times. The Map Your Show platform is the online platform where attendees use this to plan their show agenda. So it's also connected to the mobile app. So the exhibitors got a listing in here, so you have a free online directory listing, which is a really important piece to make sure you complete. That's how exhibitor or attendees search. That's how they mark your booth as somewhere to stop and visit. It's how they add things in their agenda planner. So without your information in there, it's hard for them to find you. Inside this platform also is the interactive floor plan and an exhibitor dashboard. And the login is how you access it. And again, we'll send this out so that you have these links. This is also linked on the exhibitor resource page, so you can click from there into this.
Here. If you look at that right graphic, you'll see when you click on that link Michelle just mentioned, you'll be at the exhibitor sign in. If you're missing your password, things like that, just give us a call. We're going to have some phone numbers and names for you and emails right after this or at the end of this. So feel free to do that. Let me tell you why it's so important. Keep in mind, our job is to deliver more value to you, our exhibitors, as well as our attendees. And if we keep doing that and make it new and exciting and show people all these different unique things, the better. What we are clearly finding is that operators are doing a much more efficient or effective job of planning their show participation. So they're planning tours, they're planning, to be at different education events and so on. But what we're seeing clearly is that they're planning what booths to visit. So let me just kind of expand on that, what it means to you as an exhibitor. When you go into this, think about that online directory and what you're posting and use it to your maximum value. What you put down, the names of your products, keywords when people search, product categories. What we're finding and hearing through our research is attendees, operators in this case, are absolutely saying, hey, I want to make sure I don't miss anything. The show's only, a day long. I've got to make sure I see everything I want to see first, and then everything else, I'll go and look for some other nuggets out there. So please, 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 if there is one thing we can stress, which costs you nothing, is to really go and fortify your online listing with those types of things in mind. So Michelle, thank you. This is a super, super important thing. The Map Your Show platform is probably the most impactful because it connects buyers and sellers prior to the show. And please take full advantage of that. You'll see again contacts in case you need any recommendations. So Michelle, thank you for your help with that.
Thank you.
So one of the things that happens is we have this empty hall, that beautiful carpeted hall you just saw a few minutes ago, and nothing happens unless our friend Keith Cotton makes things happen in terms of labor, rentals, assistance, things like that. He's even coordinating all kinds of things, and anything you need, GES really can deliver to you to make sure that there's less work. You can come in, you get things done, and you are out, and then you take your leads and just go and sell. So if I could introduce Keith Cotton from GES, and Keith is going to review the next couple slides. Keith?
Thank you, Chris. Yes, so from the Map Your Show platform, you will have access to the GES Expresso site, which is the service manual for the show. I took a little snapshot from the page, just highlighting some important dates and deadlines that are on the screen right now. I do want to point out two specific items on this. One is the discount deadline date is Friday, October 28th, so it's 2 weeks from tomorrow. Your booth package does come with a table. If you're looking for chairs, stools, additional tables, or something specialty furniture, please go onto the Expresso page, search around for items that you want, and get the orders in before next 2 Fridays from now, before the 28th. That'll save you a nice bit of money for that. Second is at the bottom right-hand corner of every page is the online chat. When I pulled this screenshot, it says it's currently offline. Our service center is based in Las Vegas. So the normal working hours are 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. in Las Vegas time. So depending on your time zone, it might be offline. You might have to wait an hour or two to get back on there. That's a very convenient way to reach out to GES to ask specific questions if needed.
Keith, one of the things that we see happen often is people, forget to order, even though they get reminders like this, and they pay more money. Well, not only do they pay more money, but it takes more time. So if on site you walk back and say, oh my gosh, I need this, that's no problem. You're gonna pay more for it because it's a late order, but it's also gonna be time. We have heard clearly that people want to make sure that it's an efficient, effective use of their time. So pay special attention to that. And again, we don't want you to pay any more money than you have to.
Absolutely. And also one thing with that, with what Chris was saying, is when we get to show site, we do have very limited inventory items. So if there's something specialty you're looking for, we may not have that available.
Good point.
In Las Vegas, GES provides everything that's on the screen. As it was already mentioned a few times, we do provide carpet, but the facility is carpeted already. So there's no need, unless you actually wish to have a different color carpet in your booth, to order carpet, but it is an option. And also, there's also the service center number listed below there. That's another way to contact the service center if you don't want to use the online chat.
Good stuff.
So key deadlines, again, can't reiterate enough, but there's a deadline date checklist on the Espresso page. If you order before the discount deadline, it'll save you money. There are 2 different deadlines. So the first one listed is October 24th. That's all the facility services. That's the electrical, internet, and plumbing. And then everything for GES regarding your booth is later that week, which is Friday, October 28th.
Perfect.
Las Vegas work rules is pretty self-explanatory amongst the trade show industry. You're able to use GES labor or display houses or full-time company employees with an ID to install and dismantle displays. There are some specific stipulations about power tools and ladders and things of that nature. So if you do require something like that, you may need to hire either GES or display house to do. As it's noted there, GES and the convention center staff are only allowed to operate any mechanized vehicles, forklifts, or powered pallet jacks if necessary. The MGM Grand Convention Center will do the electrical. And then we also have, oh, yeah, you can go back to material.
Sorry about that. Yep. Sorry about that.
It's all good.
So electricians are through MGM Grand, your point, and so different order forms, right, Keith?
Correct. Yes, and again, all of that is supplied on the Espresso page. Anything that's not GES, there's a tab on the left-hand side that says additional show services. You can select that, and it'll bring you to all the subcontractors and preferred vendors.
Perfect. So MGM Grand can be ordered right from there and access on the side, right?
Correct.
Perfect. Everything in one place again. Thank you, Keith.
Same thing with material handling. GES, we're this official services provider, so we will handle all the material handling. Depending on whether you ship to the warehouse, there's specific dates to limit any overtime or late to warehouse charges. Starting next week, you could send your shipments to the warehouse, and there's a 3-week window, give or take, from October 19th to November 8th. The warehouse will receive your shipments, and there won't be any additional surcharges to it. At show site, we're only accepting freight during these 2 times: Sunday, November 13th, starting from 2 to 6 p.m., and then Monday, the 14th, 8 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. And this is the following point is very critical. If you have refrigerated or frozen items, these cannot be received at the warehouse. We don't have any capabilities to store them for a long period of time. If you do have refrigerated frozen items that need to be shipped, please coordinate it with the CTW team. We have to work it out with the facility itself to have these things stored during the show.
Good. And then Keith, last but not least, sir.
Yep. And finally, same thing on the Espresso page, left-hand side, shipping and material handling. there's an option that you could print your shipping labels. So it's basically a 2 or 3 step. I have the first 2 highlighted here. You enter your booth number, you hit next, and then step 2, it'll tell you, ask you how many labels you want to choose from. You could do as many labels as you want, and then one will be provided for you. You just have to print it out and either use sticky paper or just tape it right to the boxes or shipments that you're sending into us.
Awesome. And Keith, one of the things I just want to mention, and then if you'll just kind of wrap it up with contact. Most of you folks have dealt with our famous Nicole Davis, who is online today. We thank you, Nicole, for helping us out. Nicole is the exhibits manager for CTW, and she's kind of like the Wizard of Oz. She has the answers you're looking for. So as you can see, here is Nicole's email address, ndavis@namanow.org. And if you want to talk to Nicole, and she'd love to do that, it's 770-432-8410, extension 110. And Keith, this is the information for the GES Service Center, correct?
Correct. And those numbers and the chat are also listed on the Expresso page. So if you don't write them down now, when you log into the Expresso page, all that information will be on the left-hand side and the chat will be on the bottom right-hand side.
Perfect, perfect. Keith, anything else we want to close with? You know, we've it's getting the end of trade show season in November and so on. Some people may have done shows, not done shows. Any kind of things that you'd highlight based on the current environment?
I'm currently at a trade show right now, and I do have to say the attendees here, the show is looking great. I expect the same thing for this show coming up. It's going to be beautiful in Las Vegas in November. I know I'm going to get out of the cold East Coast, so I'm looking forward to a very great show for all of us.
In the right time of year too, right, Keith?
Absolutely.
Perfect, Keith. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chris.
Okay, thank you. Pleasure's all mine. Okay, so what we are going to do now. Sonny, can you unmute yourself? Because it looks like you might be, let's see here.
All right, I think I've unmuted.
Sonny, you sound loud and clear. Ladies and gentlemen,
All right.
lead retrieval, as we had talked about, is important. Sonny Cardoso from CDS, great lead retrieval company, registration company. Sonny, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much for the introduction, and thank you all for having me. So today, just going to go over a bit about the lead retrieval that is going to be available. So we can go to the next slide. For each attendee, they will have a badge with a QR code on it. So you'll simply, using either of our devices, scan the QR code on the badge. And in addition to their contact information, you'll also have the demographics that were gathered at registration, and you're able to build out your lead profiles to ensure that you have actionable leads. One of our options is the Express Connect app, and this would be our program run on one of your own devices, either Android or Apple, as long as it's iOS 10 or higher, or Android 5.1 or newer. So really any device, you should be good to go as long as it's Android or Apple, any current device. And so what's nice about the app is no matter where you are on the show floor, you're able to scan and build out your lead profiles. Our other option is the Express Connect Plus handheld. And with this option, it would be one of our devices. You're able to pick it up at the event, or we have a DITP service, which is delivery, install, training, and pickup. So we do have a service for drop off and pickup as well. But rather than use one of your own devices, it would be utilizing one of ours. And there's benefits to both. With the app, what's nice is everyone would have it right there on their own personal device. Folks are able to take notes, qualify their leads, rate their leads. There's a lot of really neat features there. And sometimes when sharing devices, folks are a bit more hasty when building out their lead profiles. So it's nice when you can get everybody scanning, and no matter where they are on the show floor, they're able to gather their leads. The ordering would be done on our website. So our products are available to review on the website. And from there, you are able to place your order. As soon as the order is processed, you'll receive everything you need to get set up. You'll have access to your Express Leads portal, and that is where you are able to do your customizations, You can set up some custom qualifiers. You can do list or survey style. There's the literature fulfillment feature where you're able to send an information-packed, unique email to your prospects, which includes PDFs, links, whatever information you're looking to share. And there's an education center, some how-to videos that are very helpful there in the portal. And come showtime, it'll be where you view and download your leads. Leads are downloaded in a beautiful Excel sheet, so easily segmented and sorted, makes for some nice follow-up. And should you have any questions along the way, don't ever hesitate to reach out. We have our email address posted here along with the phone number, and we're always happy to help out.
Sunny, I have a question that I just saw
Of
come
course.
through, and the question is this: you had mentioned that they can use this device anywhere on the show floor. The question is, if I run into a person outside the exhibit hall or in a hotel and they have a badge, can I still scan using this unit?
You can. That's one of the fabulous things about it is no matter where you are, as long as they have their badge, you're able to capture that information when the conversation happens. You never know when a great conversation is going to start. And that's one of the wonderful things about it is as long as they've got a badge, you're able to scan and add your notes, qualify, do whatever you would need to do to build out an actionable lead profile.
Perfect, good. So it's a lot more effective whether you're on in a Uber with somebody or you're, let's say that there might be a bar in Las Vegas you're at, and you see a bunch of people
That's
heading
just
out and
it.
so on. Dinner, all kinds of interesting options, right?
You've
There's
got it. You've got it just
another
right.
question. Another question I see that came through, and this is a really excellent question too, is I said earlier that the information we've captured in registration, and as did Sunny, is available when you scan that. So let me expand on that a little bit. We have heard from you years ago, and we have adjusted our registration forms to glean much more data than we ever have. So for example, if you scan that person, you're going to get things such as their name, you're going to get their company, you're going to get their position, you're going to get where they are in the purchasing influence, when they plan on purchasing, the products they plan on purchasing, and also their phone, email, any contact information that they have. So what's so neat is that I know a lot of people collect leads in different ways. What we have heard and what we really strive for is to deliver the easiest way to capture as much information, pertinent information. And to Sunny's point, you can even put notes in there. We even have some people who literally grab those leads and they'll send information out almost immediately because they feel it's such a competitive environment to be in. So yeah, all of those details, and three of the ones I think are super important are the products that they're interested in, where they stand in the purchasing influence, and when they plan on buying. In my opinion, all of a sudden that probably qualifies the lead that you'd scanned. And again, this is a great opportunity way to use it. Sunny, thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. And please don't hesitate to reach out with any questions.
Perfect. Good. I want to cover this, and then I'd like to see if we can't bring in our friend Nicole just to kind of see if there's any other questions. Again, if there's any questions, please just post them in the chat. Nicole will address them for you, and or we'll do it right now. So here's your contacts. So anybody who are looking, Michelle had mentioned there's still a couple cool sponsorship marketing things which will definitely drive booth traffic. If you deal with Anthony, your company starts with either A through M, and Katie Burke, of course, M through Z. The Exhibitor Toolkit, look at this. This is a heavy lifter here, huh? Nicole does Exhibitor Toolkit, exhibiting logistics and imagination way. So Nicole is, as you can tell, she's kind of like the be-all end-all for us in this, and she has got the answers for you. If not, she'll find them. And GES Service Desk, you can see that. And Espresso, which Keith had mentioned, is very, very easy to order. Everything order form wise there. And you'll see that the other link has everything from registration to all these things. So again, just very few places to go to. We want to make sure we've got a good relationship with you. We're all just a phone call away, as you can see. Nicole, are there any other questions that would be out there that we can answer?
Hi, everyone. It's Nicole Davis, your exhibits manager for Coffee, Tea, and Water. Chris, I don't know if I'm able to see the questions in the chat, so if you see any pop up, feel free to read them off for me.
Just look and see if there's any more. Gotcha. Good, I think. So MGM Grant, here is a question. I see it's in a different area. So MGM Grand, Keith, help me here. I believe that we have a freight elevator that we use for move in and move out. Is that correct?
Yes, there is a freight elevator. I believe it's located on the loading dock. So if you're bringing something direct to the show, I would not try to put it into one of the passenger elevators. I would really look for GES to assist you in getting upstairs. There will be a charge to it, but it will be the safest and most logical way to get it upstairs.
Good. Keith, could you help us here? So let's say somebody is bringing things in themselves. I know there's a lot of people that ship things in. Is there a marshaling yard, or how would they find that loading dock for MGM Grand?
All the information is listed right on the Expresso page. I do not have that information
No
handy
problem.
right now, but it's all under the shipping and material handling. There are specific addresses that you could ship to the advanced warehouse as well as direct to show site. And when you get to show site, there is signage that kind of directs you to the rear of the building if necessary.
Fantastic. Sounds good, man. Michelle, any other kind of parting thoughts as we make sure that this is the most valuable time for these folks today?
Michelle, it's Nicole. Before we part, I just wanted to remind people that the username and password for registration is the same as your Map Your Show login username and password details.
Perfect. Good. Okay. If no one has any other questions, we thank you for exhibiting in Coffee, Tea, and Water. We're excited to be back again. Should be a pretty nice industry reunion. We have lots of fun stuff in store, and we're doing all kinds of things in terms of registration for operators. And we're starting to see a lot of folks from even the fringes who have heard that our Imagination Way is really dynamic, which will bring obviously more people to the show. So on behalf of all of us, we look forward to seeing you in November at the MGM in Las Vegas. If there's any questions, you saw everyone. And one other kind of quick thing, this webinar and the deck will both be posted by tomorrow afternoon on the exhibitor resource site at the CTW website. And if you have any questions, if we can be of any help, we encourage you to give us a call. Let us help you, and so you have the best show you possibly can. Thank you for joining us.